Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age 2. I'm Garmonix, and I have guest with me again.
Hey, it's a Bonnegat poster!
We're gonna be doing the Mark of the Assassin DLC.
Hooray! I never played that.
Yep. It's one where you have one locked party member who's a rogue. At the start it's Varric, then you get the DLC character.
Yeah, what I do know about the DLC is that everybody hates Talus, apparently.
I don't know why, so far she's not that bad, honestly. You know, you meet her, you get decently way into it, and she's not that bad.
Relations were strained after the Viscount's boy died.
Kind of like a discount Liliana.
Low rent Liliana.
And yet we
my favorite, Grumpy Cass.
Yep.
Of every kind and measure.
So glad they finally upgraded her with a sense of humor.
What happened with Talus?
And more sensible armor.
Yes. I don't know, that's not too bad.
There,
Well,
but they
her pauldrons are floating off her body. That's not sensible at all.
was to the champion. It
At least she doesn't have boob cups, because that's not really a Cass thing.
No, it's
not. Stake Seeker.
Perhaps one still is.
Nicely non-specific. All right, let me set the scene. An ambush, an invitation, a hunting party. All because of Talus.
And of course, there's no one.
All I know is it had something to do with you and nobles. Edge is usually very reliable.
This is normally when we're ambushed.
Why? It's not always an ambush.
Yes, it always is.
All right. Maybe sometimes it's an ambush.
And this entire thing is all set off, depending on when you do it, for different reasons. In the first act, it's because your family were nobles in Kirkwall, and you get an invitation to go to a party. And the second one is because the guy bought a ring you from the Deep Roads. And the third one, it's because you sit next to the person who sends you an invitation at your party. It's a bit odd and strange, but it works. And sadly, it is never that easy to kill the people.
Cutscene invulnerability.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Who the blazes is that?
And this is actually one of the only inclusions of the crows, which are basically the assassin troop, sort of.
Well, you kind of run into him with Zevran's reappearance, don't you?
Oh, a little bit.
Because he's hiding from him.
Yeah, it's there and here. Really, the only times you see the crows.
You should never fought me.
And it's never really well explained.
Sloppy. You'd think the crows would be better at this. They've been doing it for ages.
And yes, you do have the option to flirt with her.
Yes, I do know that part about it from the Keep, where
Ah, the suspicious.
it's sort of like Kelly in Mass Effect 2. It doesn't really count as a romance, but
Your
you can
timing
still
is
do
a little
it.
convenient.
Yeah. It does get you some nice, amusing lines if you bring Isabella, but at the moment Isabella is, away.
Indisposed.
Looking for me. Looking for the
As is Anders. But that one was well
to be
deserved.
specific.
Oh, that's what Edge was on about. You remember? The Orlesian Duke who bought that ring from the Deep Roads. He sent a letter.
It can't have been serious. That would be Duke Prosper de Montfort, member of the Orlesian aristocracy and a man who hosts a fine salon. Or so I hear. Let me guess, this isn't just a social call? I need to relieve him of something he has no right to possess. And I can't do it alone.
You want to rob him?
Well, stealing from Orlesians is never...
I agree.
This isn't how I was planning to act.
And one of the very nice things about this, they actually model the Orlesians' faces.
What makes you think
Not
I
everyone's
steal
wearing a
things
mask.
People ask me to.
I may have talked you up a bit. Maybe more than once.
Good job, Varric.
Oh, Varric.
Why didn't you talk us up in a different sense?
Tell everyone how you
What we talked about in Legacy. The rolling into combat, eating donuts. That one
I'm hoping that's true.
would be much better.
We barely met, and I'm supposed to help you out?
Isn't that what you do?
She's got you there.
So tell me, what exactly is it you want to steal?
A jewel. The Duke thinks it's valuable, and it is. Just not in the way he believes. What's more, he shouldn't have it in the first place. He who wishes to walk on water must first learn to swim. Come with me to Chateau Hain. I'll explain everything on the way. If nothing else, you get fine wine and fancy company. But I hope you want more than that.
Everywhere we go, people try to kill you.
You've been responsible for that yourself on a few occasions.
We do get a nice little letter figuring out the fate of Edge. The guy we never knew.
Oh dear.
You do want to at least loot the crows before leaving because they kind of vanish. And sometimes they do have some okay things. We're locked in Natalis and Fenris and Meryl because Meryl's our only... Oh. I did not notice Bethany was available.
Jewel we're after-
I just noticed that. I'm like, wait, what is Bethany doing here? I thought she was
Interesting
already...
jewel. All I care about is
I
getting
knew
away from the
that your siblings had quests in the DLC. I just
behind who knows what kind of
thought that's only if you did it in Act 1.
protected by a private army of Orlesian chevaliers.
We'll just steal her from the tower, no big deal.
All inside a fortress
Yeah, that
designed to be impregnable.
Totally wouldn't make things even worse than what they already are in the city
It's on
for
the
us.
side of a mountain, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by monsters.
Nice new loading screens, though.
Yeah, the loading screens in 2 were really nice, considering the sort of limitations.
Yep.
Andrastes, dear Prosper, when is this going to get started?
Presently. All right, everyone. You'll know the tradition, yes? The first to find and slay with...
And I'm pretty sure I've seen that armor in Inquisition.
Yep, Gaspard's wearing it,
Good luck to you all.
with the dragon skin chestplate. Fuck off, Kunari.
I think you want to move. Now.
Ah, Mistress Hawk. Let them pass. They are here as my guests. Please excuse Kahir. A polite bodyguard is a contradiction in terms. Also, I am told.
A chastened.
Jason, he looks
Here.
like Stan.
Ah, yes. You are Ferelden, aren't you? You would know of his people.
The Wilders are cannibals, among other things.
I will have to take account of the guests once the hunt is done, then. And who is this lovely specimen?
You flatter me, Your Grace.
And I see you brought a manservant or two, already armed and armored. Wonderful. I must say, your presence is a surprise. I offered the invitation as a courtesy, but I had no idea you were interested in our hunt.
I'm here now, aren't I?
Indeed you are.
All I really want to do is just hit something with a sword. We're running out of people to hit in Kirkwall.
I won't keep you from the
I was gonna
hunt.
say, especially Orlesians.
Wouldn't want you to fall behind the others. Yes?
Instead, we
think
get to
I've
hunt
never encountered
a
a
wyvern.
before.
And why would you? There are exceptional beasts.
They are
magnificent cousins to the
a lot tougher than dragons.
My only advice, beware their poison. It's the deadliest thing.
Well, at least the one we face is.
As well as the most valuable.
Their poison is valuable.
Indeed. From it can be brewed Aquae Lucidius, a libation adored even by the Empress herself.
The nobility feast upon poison. How appropriate.
But here you are wasting valuable time on questions. Do you wish the others to beat you to the prize?
The other hunters will need the head start.
Confidence.
Is this the same guy that voiced, is it Frederick, the dragon guy in Inquisition? The dragon scholar? It sounds like him.
I'm not sure.
Which would be a nice bit of continuity. The Wyvern Hunter in 2 becomes the dragon expert in 3.
You have come a long way to join our dukes.
Well, there's a small problem with that.
Pardon me for saying this does not seem like a hunter. A word of caution since you are new to this. Wyverns spit venom. Their victims suffer terrible pain before they die.
Awesome.
Death is always the result, then.
Depending on exposure, it may take days. But yes, death is always the outcome if the poison isn't treated.
Now keep that in mind when we fight the Wyvern.
People hunt these creatures.
Because it's just gonna spit all over us and we'll be fine.
Yeah,
There are many.
just
It is best not to face them.
drenched in this stuff multiple times.
Flank them. Blind
Well, you know,
I'll do whatever I can to avoid
sort of
being
like
hit.
in
May I trust
Origins where you get covered in darkspawn blood all the time and your companions
There are
are fine.
treatments. A distillation of herb.
Technically, you do that with this one too, when you go through the deep rows. It's weird.
Winterberry can
Though,
counteract
except for
poison.
plot reasons, your sibling would not be okay.
Be safe, Sarah.
Your sibling dies if you end up bringing him through the deep rows without Anders. It's just not right.
Please, stop making such a fuss.
Don't forget to log into the Dragon Age servers,
Man,
especially when playing 2.
I'm certain you
Yeah?
didn't mean anything by it, Fenris. It's only a cover.
I'd like to cover him with 6 feet.
So these are the hunting grounds. We just need to look for signs and be careful. We get this over with, we get into the keep.
And that's where the jewel is.
There is
That's where the
absolutely no quest marker. So you follow it like a maze. Put your hand on a wall and go around.
I'm just delighted it's a new map.
Yeah, it's a really nice map too. It's a place you normally don't get to see in, at least in 2. Nice forest. Don't mind the dragons.
Yeah, you know.
I accidentally put Talus on the wrong point to use an elf root potion, so I put it at a above or equal to 25%. So she's,
She's just gobbling him down.
yeah, as soon as she can.
Oh, I took 1 point of damage.
As soon as the cooldown's off, she drinks it, and it's like, I was wondering that for a minute, and I realized, oh,
I made an error.
yep. I was like, I need to fix that.
Not our prey, I suspect.
Do dragons and wyverns even mix? I don't think so.
So if we drop part of this in the right spot, we might lure a wyvern out to protect its territory.
Good thought. Do that.
Look at the bones.
We now have one part to Beta Wyvern. There are 4 or 5 parts.
I haven't really. Why?
Things seem so grim all the time. You could use a few flowers.
Where would we put the garden, Meryl?
That altar is
Well,
very old.
I don't know. Maybe our mansion has a backyard that we never see.
Good possibility. And let's totally ignore Taliesin. Touch the spooky altar.
I told you not to mess around.
Why did you touch the bad thing? Teleporting motherfuckers.
Oh, it's much worse with this one. It only has 2 attacks, and they're both just giant area effect damage.
This is going badly.
There's the summoning of archers and mages on the sides. Meryl is already dead.
Well, that's kind of normal for Meryl, you know.
Well, I would suspect her to last longer considering she's completely specced out with rock armor and everything. Though Talus, on the other hand, is doing really nice damage. But that doesn't help against, you know. We totally got this. I mean, you know, the arcane. Oh yeah, the arcane horror is about half.
Yeah, and with the exception of some of the DLC in Inquisition, they're really jumpy. You know, it's like, oh no, an arcane horror, and then you just kill them.
Yeah. This is actually one of the more difficult fights in here, mainly because that arcane horror has those 2 AoEs that deal massive damage.
Yeah, they were pains in the ass in 1 and 2. It was just, position that
What doesn't help is probably having the 3 melee people. Clumping up is a bad idea.
Yeah, AoE. Hey, let's all get in spade.
And the constant spawning from the side really hampers it here. As does the fact that basically everyone it spawns... Oh, there's a purple AoE. Everyone it spawns besides when it actually teleports out of the arena is ranged. So you're constantly getting pelted with some damage. Talus was right. This was a bad idea.
Poor idea. No.
We should have listened to Talus.
Do it anyway.
Yeah. We'll come back to that later.
I wouldn't touch it.
Almost went and touch the spooky altar again just because I want to touch
Just because.